left off. On August 1st, 2019, Season 10 of Fortnite began, and with it, the Zero Point Sphere exploded, warping realities and altering the island to its core. In a brief moment, we were able to see this happening through the perspective of Jonesy as he floated through interdimensional limbo until he was sucked back to his world. Except the world as he knew it was no longer his. See, that was not the Chapter 1 to 9 island at all, but in fact something entirely different. Lurking beyond what we knew at the time was an infinite number of alternate timelines within the Fortnite multiverse. And there were 6 other timelines which very closely resembled the one we called the Chapter 1 Battle Royale Island. In those alternate timelines, the exact same event played out. A meteor struck the island, and a rocket would eventually go off, rifted out by different timeline versions of the visitor. In one timeline, choose who we call the Paradigm, and in another, who we call the Scientist. In truth, these entities are all visitors. They are the same figure, just alternate timeline versions. And together, they make up the 7. So, the Nexus Sphere exploded, resulting in the 7 timelines basically piecing together to form what was the brand new Season 10 island. But in this moment, there were anomalies which caused time to pause. The visitors, stuck in the in-between, caused the flow of time to short out and stop entirely. And so was the Scientist meteor. Floating above the Season 10 map, Capsule, Scientist, all. Seeing the precarious balance our multiverse lay in, the Scientist emerged from his pod and set out to devise a plan which would contain the Zero Point Sphere and bring order on the island and set a countdown. Launch. And just like in Season 4, the rockets flew high up into the sky, but this time there were more. One by one, 6 Rift beacons activated through their portals to other rockets. Each being manually controlled by an alternate timeline visitor. Our original one included. These 6 rockets have been stuck there since Season 4, waiting for this very moment to come back to reality. It's also possible that in Season 4 they intentionally rifted these rockets out, knowing that the Zero Point instability was inevitable. And it's hard to confirm that, but the thought of them biding their time waiting is real cool. So, the 7 work together to control the rockets to loop around the meteor, creating enough energy to make a rift big enough to move the meteor so that it would hit Zero Point first. To weaken the bubble protecting the Zero Point, a noble sacrifice for the preservation of the multiverse. But then, with a larger rift open, the meteor came out of it. The 6 rockets and 6 other visitors.
Friendly UAV overhead. Team deathmatch. We've got enemy inbound. Lock and load.
Of the main island universe in order to save the collapse of every other timeline in the whole of those.
Radar in the air.
Because the black hole should have destroyed everything, and while it was the end of the island on And so the first thing we can assume from this is that the Scientist lives. Communicate. Also brings an awareness over the existence of another group. And lastly, we would come to learn that a few other things survived the collapse. The black hole worked as a wormhole, carrying the battle bus full of characters to another world. And where that battle bus ended up was none other than the Chapter 2 timeline. So, Chapter 2 of Fortnite begins with 4 individuals exploring this alternate timeline battle royale island. Their names are Journey, Turk, 8Ball, and Ripley, and they are members of the group known as Ego. Now, while this island is of the same branch, it followed a significant different chain of events from ours. There was no visitor, meteor, or rocket here, but it's not completely different either. There are alternate versions of Pleasant Park, Salty Springs, and Retail Row. A cube, just like Heaven, exists on the map, but the residents of this island have managed to harness it, and they use it for power, just like the residents of the Season 9 map used the Vault. There's even a peculiar lake and island in the middle of the island, which oddly resembles Loot Lake. Maybe, just like with our original islands, a vault and portal to the in-between exists underneath. Now, things at this point seem extremely complicated and confusing, but pieces of a message were sent by someone from Ego, which helps to set the stage for Chapter 2. Surprisingly, I haven't seen many people talk about this, so let's go over it. It reads, "The containment field has stabilized. The bridge is intact. The 7 succeeded. Our manipulations averted disaster. The 0 point is ours, and the plan can continue." Surprising is the sheer volume of matter resolved around the bridge. Extensive charting and analysis are required. Our best team has been scrambled and inserted. We expect resistance and similar embedded agents. We've been as quiet as possible, but the gaze of others may now be turned towards.
Sunday dinner has always been special. These days, it's just nice to have something to look forward to.
0. A whole new world awaits. So this basically explains that the 7 succeeded in not only containing the 0 points, but then went on to help Ego secure it. And that there's also something in the new island that Ego hopes to secure or keep safe. Whenever it is, they have a plan. And it also makes mention of another group which would come to be known as Alter. Now, before even Ego lands on the island, Alter begins working in the background towards their own sinister goals. Alter operations were founded on this new island by a character known as the Chaos Agent, but it makes sense that he would have ties to the secretive organization X from Chapter 1. While Alter was initially not known to have any members on the island beyond the Chaos Agents, he quickly made contact with several people from the Season 1 island and recruited them. Riptide, Hazard, Toxin, Sheik all arrived via the wormhole battle bus. That's right, those characters are actually from our original islands and joined him immediately. Perhaps these were all Organization X agents. Also, Fusion, originally 2 entities merged by the collapse of the 0 point sphere, later joined the team as well. And so to procure weapons and cash, Alter initially starts a black market trade at Dirty Docks, led by Riptide and Scratch. Now, Ego first makes contact to the island when Journey, Turk, 8Ball, and Ripley crash land after their plane gets shot down by Alter. As they arrive, Turk receives the confirmation that the 0 point sphere has been secured. And the goal of this group is to set up and await a larger force invasion. Shortly after the first 4 arrive, 8Ball, a skilled fighter, and Remedy, a medic, join up with the After a few more weeks go by, gathered, discuss the realization that Alter bears
Friendly UAV overhead.
this inner working against him. While all take this news hard, upon learning of his alter ego,
Contact!
let's focus on us down. Scratch. Now, at this
We've got
point,
control.
we finally start to see the two groups clash. The newly escaped Ripley avoids being hunted down by Toxin and Fudge with the help of Cameo as a farm. The two narrowly manage to escape. Next, after tracking his whereabouts for days, 8Ball finally confronts Scratch alone in Wicked Wood. In an epic
Less than a
battle
minute.
to fight medieval
Keep it up, guys. The day's almost done.
Contact!
Friendly UAV overhead.
We can assume this because all of the scrap starts to corrupt. The more players use them, the gone.
Enemy's got the lead. Hustle up.
Enemy at the run.
Explanation is that 8-Ball intentionally planted a virus on Scratch as a means to gain control over him to spot on Alter. Also, one more interesting thing to note is that as this fight took place, the Bushranger spied on them from far. The Bushranger is part of a third group for him to spy on Alter. Also, one more interesting finally peak as Toxin and the reform forces of Spider. But despite being outnumbered, Ego avoids total annihilation and maintains the first remedy to take off in a speedboat and manage very. Now, as this war over the island raged, it was easy to get lost in. The little details that not look at the bigger picture. So let's step back a bit.
I'm secured. Destroy their weapon caches.
The Chaos Eaters. Leading Alter, he had bigger projects going on as well. He had to make other new enemies. Big Chunk, a deceased ally, revived for the power of Slurp Cubes. He was also in control of the Cube at the Stack's power production. And he was even working on a project to control the storm itself. And while control of the storm didn't go as planned, he was able to at least affect the weather, covering the entire island in Storm King was another entity who appeared on the island. This was
Enemy UAV overhead.
here only further confirms the link between now and a curious how and why he showed up. Significance to the central island.
Less than a minute.
Perhaps after something that lay below them, or maybe
Bomb secured.
protected. Before reporting to anyone.
On to the next round. Pick it up.
Just in, you niggas on the other team are not good.
They were fighting.
Switching sides.
Items in the house became
Search and destroy.
how long he had been here, we have no idea.
Protect the objectives.
This was his original timeline and that he had always lived here. It's also possible that he came here after the events of Chapter 1, under the guidance of the Sentinel Organization Nexus. Hard to say. This one ends in a bit of a row. There is no but instead the battle only
Enemy cruise missile incoming.
if there's any winner, agents who gains knowledge on both groups. Now, some time passed.
Enemy bomb at Bravo. Get over there.
Minus the leader of the agents. And he begins to put his hand and make contact with the promising to help them as they look to the side. By providing his aid, this effectively the leader of Ego.
So Ricky's
On
running
to the next
tracker
round.
now.
Pick it up.
Is that what I'm seeing?
Not all members
No, I
start
have fucking,
working for
I have
their
the, I have the bonus. What you mean?
Many. Midas's executive members include Journey, along with new characters including Tech, Sky, Brutus, Tiantina, Bushranger, Deadpool, and Meowscles, his personal bodyguard. It's also worth noting that Lynx had been working with Midas all the way back in season.
Asset locations confirmed. Defending them is
If you look at our
critical.
loading screen from that season, you can actually see a photo of Meowscles, confirming that Midas at least had contact with him. And how does he know so much? How is he going to be so quick to it? Also creates a new special intelligence unit called Shadow, and then sets up additional systems around the map. Learning of this specialized group of soldiers, Midas then creates his own special tactics unit. Ghost. He has a learning facility created above Weeping Woods, which would serve as a trading base for Ghost. An easy way to think of these groups is like MI6 or the CIA, working as a secret intelligence agency under one larger
Not
government.
going to take it
The
lying
CIA
down.
is to the US as Ghost is to Ego. Now next, Midas gets to work on setting up bases around the island. He builds the Grotto, an underground secret cave port. The Rig, an oil rig masked under the company of Spillex. The Shark, an island base located in the northwest section of the map. He then parks a small offensive battleship disguised as a yacht in the northeast section. And lastly, he creates the Agency, a centrally located intelligence and operations designed for both defense and multiple undersea plans. In doing this, Midas then sets his closest agents to oversee operations at these locations, giving him eyes in all four corners of the map. So, Season 2 of Fortnite starts with Midas deploying his units and Shadow beginning operations to undermine Ego. This starts with Alter continuing expansion and even trying to recruit members of Ego. And in Week 2, it works. Brutus joins Shadow. This will be the first crushing loss in a string of many for Midas and the Agency. Brutus then converts the Grotto to a shadow base and starts aiding his new allies. Next, Alter makes its plans to take control over the Rig. Next, fed up with Midas' leadership, Tiantina defects from the Agency as well and helps Shadow forces move the Rig into the hands of Alter. The Ghost henchmen don't go down without a fight, however, and in the defense of the Rig, a gas container breaks and the Rig is heavily damaged in the resulting explosion. Losing both a strong asset and valued team member, this is another decimating loss for Midas. But is everything here exactly as we see it? Well, actually no, not at all. Midas is a super high-level player, and all of this was intentional. So while on the outside it seemed like Brutus left Midas, he was actually in fact becoming a double agent. Remember how the season is dedicated to survive? Well, that explains it right there. Alter was still too unpredictable, so Midas realized he needed to lose control. He had Ego mostly under control, but Alter could ruin his plan. So he had Brutus planted as a double agent.
Team deathmatch. Get out there. Promote the company.
Shadow Brutus sitting in the Agency in the trailer. It wasn't a mistake, but rather a huge hint that we all overlooked.
Enemy at the courtyard.
Comes across a
They're in the lead.
Alter had plans to assault and take control of the Rig. When Midas heard this news, he realized his grasp of the Rig was minimal and that losing it was and this is where we see the man. Knowing it's already lost, Tiantina to defect from his group and join Alter to work from the inside. Now, two members joining Shadow in a month sounds suspicious, so he has to ensure that Alter trusts him. He has Tiantina undermine the pre-defense strategies of the Rig, moving Ghost members away to other bases, lowering security. By guaranteeing the procurement of the Rig, this establishes massive trust between Tiantina.
Enemy at the courtyard.
But Midas knew it would also be a huge mistake to let Alter gain control of such a valuable asset. At this point, no matter what he does,
Enemies
he
in the
knows
area.
he's lost.
Reloading.
So he adopts a policy known throughout history as Scorched Earth. Before the attack, Midas instructs Tiantina, the explosive specialist
Enemy
that
at the
she
shops.
is, to rig up a bomb to go off during the assault. After attacks the base, the bomb goes off. Brushed off and attacked in the fight, but in truth, everything
Friendly UAV
Enemy
online.
at the courtyard.
Midas plans a second double agent into Alter to destroy this highly valuable asset. And it's here where we see
UAV ready for deployment.
also around the time that Midas has
Enemy at the scaffold.
He attempts to start
Enemy at the
into a
bus.
prison to contain Oro, the god of gold, which is where he got his gold powers from in the first place. Now, despite his master,
Request recon flyover!
This is Falcon 3-0. Good copy. UAV beginning flyover.
Reports the help of someone very close to him, the engineer, daughter, brother, sister.
Target mark!
This is Builder 2-0. Good copy. Cluster strike away.
So in my
Returning to resupply.
Allied cluster strike inbound.
highly skilled fighter and
Enemy at the scaffold. Enemy at the shops.
We also see the mask of the Chaos Agent, but it makes no sense that also continues successfully operating after this. Things do not add up here. It would seem a lot
Enemy UAV overhead.
my character's death rather than conversion. In the loading screen where Midas looks at his
Enemy precision airstrike inbound.
here, a pair of glowing eyes can be seen. A reflection.
Enemy care package inbound.
Enemy in the bus.
Friendly sentry gun deployed. Enemies in the area. We're halfway there. Fighting.
Fail. Eventually, Officer now faces threat from all angles, and it looks like an end.
Enemy at the scaffold.
Battle offers launches the attack on. Both sides fight ferociously. and also
I'm taking fire!
during the battle for the agency, Tuesday fight continues to power. Finally,
Enemy in the bus.
the island and its story. The agency explodes, and his
Friendly
device
enemy personal radar online.
flooding the map in a monstrous wall of fire. What I think of the Fortnite universe experience, years of anticipation. They saw it beyond that of Battle Royale Island. The in-between existing examples have but this now confirms the existence of another realm, a realm moving beyond universe. See, our Fortnite characters there. Photos on the wall can be seen with various capable characters, confirming this. And the island itself, well, it's actually the administration branch of none other than Vineyard Tech Labs. Ladies and gentlemen,
Reloading.
on everyone is
Enemy
Battle
personal
Royale
radar online.
simulation. And the answer is sort of. While it is a simulation, it's not as simple as just being a
Target
computer
spotted.
program run by code. It's a simulation, but more than that. Now, if you don't follow things
Enemy at the
along
scaffold.
that creates results. So it makes sense that this glimpse we got is before the event. Vineyard Tech Labs is a huge tech company which literally changed their lives, and they have
Enemy at the shop.
what's happening here is that one of their projects is a chaos theory simulation. They had thousands of computers running a giant multi-level simulation, which is what contains the world. Except it somehow reveal that there was a connection between the
Enemy near main 3.
itself and the characters within it so advanced that they not only became self-aware, and once again, it turns out
Check your fire! Keep fighting, we've got this. Taking fire!
well, he was actually both.
Enemy near main 3.
Good work. Winning is good for business.
And it works. Just like we ourselves thought, VenderTech believed that they wanted to study and observe what these simulated characters would do. But Midas fooled everyone. He wasn't making a weapon at all. He was making a gateway, a device to escape his fabricated prison. And everything almost worked. For brief moments, the characters in the Battle Royale world literally fell into VenderTech's lab. They even talked with Agent Jones, a member of that world. But it wasn't enough. The device didn't work exactly as planned. It wasn't as strong, and they were only glimpses, ultimately being sent back to the Battle Royale island. VenderTech managed to contain the outbreak, and a giant flood swept over the map. And as for Midas, he was last seen stranded on a raft in the water, left to die as a self-aware simulation, watching helplessly as the rest of the island inhabitants forget and fall back into their loops. So, the Fortnite Chapter 2 storyline is on the surface level quite superficial, but when you look deeper, we see a lot more. It takes the multi-dimensional type themes of a show like Rick and Morty and mixes them with Westworld, a show about AI becoming self-aware and trying to overthrow the creators. Moving forward, it's going to be very interesting to see what comes next. While Midas may not be dead, I don't imagine we will ever see him on screen again. But all hope is not lost for our Battle Royale characters. Jules, the engineer, and Lynx also knew Midas' secret, and they may continue to try to escape. Whether they'll follow Midas' plan or start their own is hard to say. Jules has taken control over the agency.
We have the bomb, move!
And now leads Alter and maybe the Ego. Jules is an engineering genius, and it's very likely she's not.
Search and destroy.
After what's planned,
Jackpot on enemy assets. Grab the bomb or clear the AO.
Part 3. Storyline you didn't know. This was a really big project, and it probably was like over 30 hours. And so I just wanted to take a second to thank you guys for all the support. If you're here for the giveaway, we're going to be giving away 10 1,000 V-Bucks codes for the Battle Map. To enter, we just ask that you subscribe to the
planting
channel
Bravo.
and then say 8 sentences or less, explain your thoughts and
Bomb planted. Start the
Thanks
clock.
again for watching, guys. We'll see you in a few seconds.
That's the way. On to the next round. Search and destroy. Retrieve the bomb and hit those targets. Bomb is in play. Attack the weapon caches. Planting Bravo. The bomb has been planted. destroy. Retrieve the bomb and hit those targets. We have the bomb. Move. Got the bomb. Take a breath, we're going back in. Switching sides. Search and destroy. Asset locations confirmed. Defending them is critical. Enemy bomb at Alpha. Get over there. Fuse pulled. Good job, team. We've taken the advantage. Make sure we keep it. Search and destroy. Asset locations confirmed. Friendly UAV overhead. Enemy UAV overhead. Enemy bomb at Bravo. Get over there. Take a breath, we're going back in. Search and destroy. Asset locations confirmed. Defending them is critical. Bomb planted on Bravo. Defuse it. behind you. We've got work to do. Switching sides. Search and destroy. Target's ID. Get to the bomb and move in. You've got the bomb. Get to the target. One round gone. We're not dead yet, are we, lads? Search and destroy. Target's ID. Get to the bomb and move in. Bomb is in play. Protect the carrier. We're planting A. Bomb planted.